Good evening, San Antonio. Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure. I am James Pleasure here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. Of course, you can follow along with the show. Give us a ring at 656 ESPN. That is 656 3776. You can also text that number. You can tweet at us, thread us, hit us on Instagram, or on YouTube. All those at SA Sports Star, while I am at I Am Pleasure on Twitter and Threads. A lot of their talk today revolved around quarterbacks, Dak Prescott, the show on Netflix, which I am now 4 episodes through, going into episode 5, so I've only got a couple of episodes left, and so far this series has been phenomenal. And Jason Minix will be joining me a little bit later as I kind of find out who he'd like now that we know that it's been upgraded to a second season on Netflix. And this first season has been so good. I wish I could binge it. I think I'm going to take some time and binge it all in one sitting at some point. It has been that good that I do want to rewatch it and devote more time and energy to the show. But it comes down to who you'd like to see next on this show, because it's intriguing. And I think the 3 quarterbacks they chose and the routes they've chosen with those 3 quarterbacks being kind of at different points in the NFL, to where you have the elite of the elite, that being a Patrick. I think that was a great follow and getting to know more of his life and what he goes through. And I love the fact that he and the team have a lot of input. Like, I think they said Wednesdays, they do an install where they put some things together. They bring it to Coach Reed to add to the game plan for the week. And you don't see that from the other quarterbacks. And you've heard other interviews where they players say it's hard to defend the Chiefs because a lot of what the Chiefs do feels like they just draw it up in the dirt, which basically they kind of are. They're drawing things up in the dirt and getting them installed into the game plan on a week-by-week basis. And it's really, really cool to actually see it play out. That's kind of how far I've gotten through it. I can't wait to see once we get Marcus Mariota going MIA, which I believe is the next episode for me, and then the playoff runs and kind of what happens after the playoffs for a quarterback like Kirk Cousins. And then speaking of Kirk Cousins, you have him at that different point in his career where Patrick Mahomes is the elite of the elite. You have Kirk Cousins, who is the quintessential mid guy. He's that guy that falls between 8, 10, and 15. He was Matt Stafford before Matt Stafford won a Super Bowl last year with the Rams. And so I think that was a very interesting thing, and all the things he does to make sure that he's mentally prepared for a game week in and week out, and the things he puts his body through. And I'll tell you, some of the great things about this series, it's remembering things after the fact. Like, I completely forgot about that overtime Bills game. And then as it's happening on the show, I'm like, oh yeah, I was at a remote at Twin Peaks watching this game unfold. And then it went to overtime because they cut away from it to get to another game because it had started after Kirk Cousins didn't get in on the 4th and 1. Then they got that safety, so they had to bring it back to the action. And Buffalo tied it and forced overtime. And the sheer pain that Kirk was playing through in that game, and that he got it, that is one tough SOB. I have a newfound respect for Kirk Cousins after watching this series. And then the guy on the complete opposite end of the spectrum from Patrick Mahomes and below the tier of Kirk Cousins, you have Marcus Mariota, a guy who was a highly touted number 2 overall pick, who had lost his job, had to take a backup job somewhere else and work his way back from that backup job into another starting gig, and it was his first year in that starting gig. And I've forgotten that Arthur Smith was his offensive coordinator in Tennessee, which there was the obvious connection that brought him originally to Atlanta. It's just such a well done production of a series that gives you an insight even deeper than what you could expect. And I am all in on this series. I love it. So I started thinking, if season 2's happening, who do I want to see in season 2? Well, I want to see Dak Prescott. Whether he's the Kirk Cousins or the Patrick Mahomes, like the lead story or the next guy. Because I do feel he could, throughout this series, have a Kirk Cousins type effect on me. Like, Dak Prescott doesn't say anything in the media. The play on the field is good enough to where you have to pay the guy because you know what life without a quarterback is, and he's a good enough quarterback to where everything's great around him. You've got a shot, just like Kirk Cousins. But I do believe if I had a deeper inside look at him throughout the season, the way I'm getting with Kirk Cousins, I think I might like Dak Prescott a little bit more, possibly. Because the Dak I get to see every day in front of a podium, I don't want to say disingenuous, but he's not genuine. It's not disingenuous, but it's just not genuine. I don't feel like that's the Dak that the team rallies around, because maybe he's got that fire like Patrick Mahomes does. And that's one of the rallying cries for his team. But Dak seemingly took this team as a rookie, grabbed the reins as the leader, and ran with it. But you don't see any of those things from him that help you to understand why the team galvanizes around him as much as they do. And I think if I had to look into that window, I'd have a new appreciation for Dak Prescott as a quarterback. The other quarterbacks I'd like to see, personally, I'd like it to be CJ Stroud, because I've gotten the bottom end rookie the rookie that failed and came back. Now I'd like to see an actual rookie, whether it's CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, one of the 3 rookies that were highly touted picks, and their transition into the NFL and through their first season as an NFL quarterback. I think that'd be phenomenal to catch. And then an inside look at Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, especially Josh Allen now that he's dating Haley Steinfeld. See what that kind of relationship's like, maybe as the season going through the first season of them dating and what that's like. I think that would be interesting. Maybe there's something between him and Stephon and what's going on with that. I think Josh Allen would be a pretty cool addition to that. But I think those are 3 quarterbacks. Name one of the top 3 rookie quarterback picks: Dak Prescott and Joe Burrow or Josh Allen. I think that would be the triumvirate of the next set of quarterbacks on season 2 of quarterbacks I'd like to see. What say you? 656 ESPN, 656-3776. You can text in. You can tweet at the station at SA Sports Star. You can tweet at me at I Am Pledger. Or you can comment along on our YouTube page. We are live on YouTube at SA Sports Star. But coming up here in just a minute, I'm going to talk with Jason Minix. Maybe the quarterbacks he'd like to see on season 2, especially since he's finished quarterbacks, and if he cares to go back and watch it again. And also this devaluation of the running back market and what it means for the future of the position and where he sees it going forward from here. I also heard this morning on R&R, they talked about basically Tony Pollard's pre-signing his franchise tender as early as he did, felt like almost crossing the picket line when all these other running backs are galvanizing together and talk about holding out and sitting out and complaining. And Tony Pollard's just signing his contract and going to work. I think that's a great thing for Tony Pollard. I think it's a great thing for the Dallas Cowboys. But what does it mean for his future as a Dallas Cowboy? I'll talk with that with Jason Minix next, right here on San Antonio Sports Star. This is Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1.
It's R&R in the morning.
Wednesday on R&R in the morning, I'll be joined by James Pleasure, and we're going to do what we always do, probably argue about everything under the sun. We talk about the Madden rankings and why these guys care so much, and the NFL executives have chosen their best wide receivers in the league. The party starts at 6.
It's your wake-up call. R&R in the morning, 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This week at Macy's, get set for back to school with great savings on everything they need for the new year. Like head-to-toe active gear from top brands, graphic tees to wear with anything, and 40% off new backpacks and accessories from Kipling and more. Plus, Macy's Star Rewards members earn rewards on every purchase, except gift card services and fees. Learn more at Macys.com/Star Rewards. Savings off sale and clearance prices, exclusions apply.
School on! Save on!
Sounds like it's back to school time, and Staples has great prices on everything you need for school. Save on markers and crayons. Save on notebooks and folders. And right now at Staples, save big on tech with up to $250 off select computers. Staples, where savings for school are always in session. N729, in-store only. See associate for details.
Have you gotten your hands on Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB yet? Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds offer big, bold flavors like sea salt and cracked black pepper, spicy dill, and Korean barbecue. Bonus, you're going to love the low-carb crunch. Pick up your favorite flavors of Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB today. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. Be big, be bold, be adventurous. Learn more at southernrecipesmallbatch.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Are you feeling overwhelmed after your car wreck? Call the wreck experts at Hilly and Solis. Hey, it's Rudy J, and I want you to know that Hilly and Solis understand the physical and emotional and financial toll that car wrecks have on your life. They're going to listen to your story, answer any questions you may have, and they're going to fight hard to get you all the compensation you so deserve. They've seen it all. They're former prosecutors, and they know how to win. When the medical bills and the insurance claims and the legal complexities leaving you feeling lost, Hilly and Solis are going to guide you every single step of the way, and they're going to hire not only the top medical, but also the top technical experts to support your claim. Time is of the essence. Their deadlines to file claims. Don't wait to get the legal help you need. Hilly and Solis are experienced litigators. Let them fight for your rights and financial freedom. Call Hilly and Solis for a free, no obligation consultation now. 210-762-6161. That's 210-762-6261. 210-762-6261.
Principal office in San Antonio, Texas. Message brought to you by a non-attorney spokesperson.
Diamonds Direct's Midsummer Savings Event is happening right now with an extra 20% savings, an expanded selection, and in-store designer appearances. Take an extraordinary 20% off Diamonds Direct's already unbeatable prices on rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, colored gemstone jewelry, and thousands of engagement ring mountings. Meet the designers who've flown in with all new collections for the summer. The best savings, the best selection, the best value. Don't miss this once-a-year jewelry shopping event. Get details, showroom hours, directions, and more at diamondsdirect.com.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 210-615-7777 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
If you travel as much as the San Antonio sports guys travel, while you're on the road, be sure to take us along. Listen to the 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star live stream anywhere on the Odyssey radio app.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM and sasportstar.com. Of course, we're on YouTube Live. I like some of these comments coming in, like James, who says, Allen, Dak, and Russell. Tim Harper says he'd love to see Jalen Hurts on season 2 of the Quarterbacks. Netflix by Peyton Manning. And the man who brought this conversation kind of to a head earlier today, Jason Minix, goes to the Blitz weekdays from 2 to 6 right here on San Antonio Sports Star, joining me. And I know you've finished it. I still have 2 episodes left, and I'm about to get into the Marcus Mariota going AWOL on the team. And Mahomes run to 2 and another Super Bowl. This has been such a phenomenal watch and a deep behind-the-scenes look at quarterback to a level that I don't think any of us truly understood what any of these guys go through.
You know, we don't know their day-to-day. We see 3 hours on a Sunday, some press conferences. You know, we hear them talk about it. We know they go through hell, and we know they're long days. And even this series is, I think, not as deep as it could be because, you know, you're not getting into meetings. You're not getting into a lot of practices. There's some interviews. You see some stuff in the training room, that sort of thing. And then some of their personal lives, which is, I think, what we're all into. Whoever said Russell Wilson, dude, stop. Nobody needs to see Russell Wilson talk about Russell Wilson for a series. Give me some Baker Mayfield, some Josh Allen. I like the Jalen Hurts idea when you're thinking about the different levels. And I know, James, you said, you know, maybe you would like Dak more if you saw him. When you're around Dak, like at training camp, like we will be, you see a lot of that work. And I do think that it could change the perception a lot of people have about Dak Prescott and see some of the leadership qualities that he has. You know, you hear all kinds of wide receivers talking about what a great leader Dak Prescott is. You see that in Minnesota. I don't think many of us looked at Minnesota and went, yeah, that's a guy. But his teammate, he is a different kind of cat.
So in that essence, then, with season 2, who would you most like to see portrayed in season 2? Because I really like the rookie aspect of seeing a rookie come into the league and his ups and downs through his first season and what that would look like.
Well, all right. So I'm going to take Dak out of the conversation because
we'd all like to see that.
I think we would, and I'll get called a homer and all that, and I don't care. I am. I think you're wanting to see C.J. Stroud because you're a Texans homer.
Sure.
Give me a rookie like Will Levis in Tennessee who is going to take Ryan Tannehill's job if he plays well. I would love to see a quarterback in a situation like that where, you know, it's not given to you. You're not going to start as a rookie. We've got Ryan Tannehill. But when that change comes, I think that could be interesting. Unlike, you know, say in Indianapolis, they've already named their starter. Houston, you know it's going to be C.J. Stroud, even though D'Amico hasn't officially named him the starter. We all know it's going to be C.J. Stroud unless he falls off the, can't get anything done during training camp. So where there's some legit competition, you know, I think Baker Mayfield's an interesting guy. That could be interesting just with him in Tampa Bay, or even a Derek Carr in New Orleans learning a new series where you think there might be something good there, but there's still a lot of question marks. Give me some good behind the scenes. I know Aaron Rodgers, a lot of people want to, you know, as much as that dude, they're shoving Hard Knocks down our throat. I think that guy eats up the attention. I think he could be interesting. I think Josh Allen obviously would be good. Joe Burrow would certainly be good. I'm trying to think of who I don't want to see, and outside of Russell Wilson, who would you want to see in a situation like this?
You brought up his name. What about another quarterback who could be replaced in Ryan Tannehill?
You know, I mean, it would be interesting, you know, in Ryan Tannehill, kind of like Kirk Cousins. I'd be interested to see what kind of his home life is like, just the curiosity. But to me, it's so much more than just the quarterback. It's the other people in their lives that you get to be a part of. And I think the Russell Wilson aspect, just interactions with Sean Payton, would be very interesting there in Denver. But, you know, like with Josh Allen, well, you know, how is that relationship with Diggs? Could we see something in that show? Although I don't know that show would give us that. You know, Daniel Jones with Saquon having to play on the tag. Is there any resentment in the locker room from teammates that Daniel Jones got paid and Saquon didn't? And the team realizes that Saquon is the reason that offense goes. Saquon made Daniel Jones a lot of money. I'm just curious from the locker room aspect, but I don't know if this show we would actually get to see any of that. But those are certainly some storylines I would be interested in.
Another Cowboy news. Tony Pollard got the franchise tag. No deal was reached. He'd already signed his tag. Is there any way, short of him taking like a Miles Sanders type deal, of him coming back to Dallas after this season?
After this season, maybe. I mean, I look at a guy like Tony Pollard when he signed the tag, which is why it was one of the easier beer bets to win with Joe Reinagle, is we know the Cowboys aren't going to pay running backs big money. A year ago, 6 months ago, it looked like the running back market might be different. And I said then, this will be Tony Pollard's last year with the Dallas Cowboys. When you're on the tag and then you're out. The way the running back market has changed, maybe that has changed too, because I could see Tony Pollard, who was eager to sign the tag. I mean, and I say eager, he signed it the first day I believe he was eligible to sign it, right?
Mm-hmm.
There were no negotiations, seemingly no real negotiations leading up to the deadline. So if he's content with, I'm in the NFL and you're going to pay me how much, I'm that guy, and there are guys out there that are like that, then possibly. Now, if he goes and shatters every record out there and plays like a Christian McCaffrey, maybe there's a different market for him. But I don't see him getting ridiculous money in Dallas, but I don't see money anywhere else in the NFL. The one thing that he does have going for him, because throughout his rookie contract, he wasn't a bell cow running back, his usage rate is very different than every other running back that's going to be up for a contract. And that probably does work in his favor to a degree.
Now, because of his usage rate, though, I know we've clamored for a much larger role out of him, and we got it towards the end of last season, finally. Are there any issues with him sustaining a larger workload through a full 17-game season?
You know, I think that's what's on the table this year for Tony Pollard to go out and prove that he can carry the ball at a high level, a high number of times, week in and week out, and maintain his production level. Now, we can argue all along, should the Cowboys have used him more while they had him on the roster? But he wasn't an every down back at Memphis. He wasn't an every down back when he got to the league under Jason Garrett, and he hasn't been under Mike McCarthy. So you have three different coaching staffs that used him a certain way. Has he worked into and developed into a guy that can be an every down back? Obviously he has. That's why the Cowboys are giving him the keys to the car. But now he's got to go out and prove that he can do it. And he's got a 1-year, $10 million contract to get that done.
He is Jason Mays. You can hear him every weekday from 2 to 6 right here on The Blitz. Anything special coming up tomorrow?
Lisa Campos, the UTSA athletic director, is set to join us. The commissioner of the American Athletic Conference is in San Antonio for a couple of days starting tomorrow. So, you know, obviously he wants to check out one of his new member schools, Lisa Campos, and I'm sure the university rolling out the red carpet, city leaders I'm sure he'll have meetings with. And it is a big deal for him to see San Antonio, see the Alamo Dome. I know he's been here before for a variety of different things, but big day for UTSA. And look, lots of questions about UTSA that need to get answered. So it'll be fun to have Lisa Campos on to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Be safe getting home. Thanks for the time, Jason. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Appreciate you, Pledge.
That is Jason Miggs. Catch him every weekday, 2 to 6, right here on The Blitz. That's going to do it for Extra Innings. Coming up next, though, we have Rangers, Rays, Game 2 of this series right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, and SASportsStar.com.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments